Hello, welcome to another whiskey tasting from Dram du Jour. I'm Scott Wilson, your master of malt. Welcome inside my whiskey room. And today we are tasting a whiskey from what is now Scotland's smallest whiskey producing region, but at one point in the not too distant past was known as the whiskey capital of the world. I'm talking about Campbeltown, because back in the day it was home to over 30 distilleries. Can you imagine that? 30 distilleries. Today it's home to Glengyle, Glen Scotia, and our good friends at Springbank. I'm a big fan of Springbank whiskies, and today we're looking and tasting a 12-year-old cask strength bottled at 56.2 ABV. I'll slip that up there. I do like Springbank, and I've got about 170 bottles here in my whiskey room. I think only two, maybe maximum three, are from Campbeltown and specifically Springbank. Unfortunately, they don't last very long. It's maybe the temperature in here, maybe they evaporate relatively quickly. Anyway, I've already poured the Dram here. Lovely colour. We'd probably call it autumn gold. I have a friend who has a hair colour like that. He's a gentleman of advancing years, much like me. Unlike me, who doesn't use Just for Men. I think, Alan, that's probably the colour of yours, and maybe it's autumn gold, because certainly your hair was looking very lush and, unnatural last time I saw you. So back to the whiskey. It's giving us nice legs there, as would be the case with a whiskey of this ABV. Let's try it on the nose. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Rich, inviting, makes you want to dive into it. I have friends who are big fans of Springbank, and they tell me often about what they call the Springbank funk. So that is a mixture of earthy influences, maybe a hint of industrial notes there, but certainly maritime, a bit like the sea salt that you get off an old Pulteney, for example. And I see what they mean about that one, but I'm getting toffee apple in here, red apple, red berries as well. There's some sweetness like icing sugar on the nose. It's very, very pleasant indeed. And because of the influence from the ex-rum casks, and they use mainly ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, but a small amount of ex-rum casks. There's sweetness of Demerara sugar in there on the nose, and a suggestion of peat smoke. It's certainly not a peaty whiskey by any manner of means, but there's a gentle hint there. So, very inviting on the nose. Let's try it on the palate. Oh, that's got a real kick. But then again, what did I say it was? 56.2 ABV. But not overpowering. Oh no. Oh crikey. That's very much a sipping whiskey. I like that. Oily. Very oily on the tongue. The mouthfeel is good. It's a big mouthfeel. Yep, syrupy. It's coating my entire palate. It's one of these whiskies where I'd rather drink than talk, but kind of defeats the purpose of having a YouTube channel if all you're doing is drinking whiskey and not talking about it. There's a bit nut in there, hazelnutty. There's also the sweetness of chocolate. I'm detecting, like eating a crunchy. You suck the chocolate off a crunchy and then you get the honeycomb. That's all in here as well. Oh, I do like that. There's that very, very gentle element of smoke, but there's also, I mentioned the industrial influence earlier on. I'm getting that there, but it's not like hospital. It's certainly nothing as severe as that. It's more savoury, actually. Yeah, like like a ham, a salty ham. That's very, very pleasant. Very pleasant indeed. There's some Christmassy influences in there too, like marzipan. Very nice. Finish-wise, in fact, before I tell you about the finish, let's add some water and let's see if that opens it up, makes a difference to it. Yeah, it smooths it out. It wasn't particularly edgy. Like I said, it was like a sipping whiskey, i.e. one that I wouldn't necessarily add water to. I add water to the vast majority of my whiskies, principally for longevity, because I like a dram to last a long, long time. I add it as well, so it opens it up and I get the full bouquet of the whiskey without sounding too pretentious. That's the whole reason that I started this blog all these years ago, because I was fed up reading wanky tasting notes effectively. So hopefully that's notes coming through here. That's giving me more honey. There's a bit citrus in that as well. Dark chocolate now, instead of the milk chocolate that I got earlier on with the water. Dark chocolate, really lovely mouthfeel, coating the whole inside of my mouth. Oh, I'm a big fan of that, indeed. I don't think it's the cheapest. This one was another gift. It seems that more and more of the whiskies that I review on this channel are gifts. They're not all. I do spend a lot of money in whiskey. I do invest in whiskey. Top Rows, a lot of them are investments, but the vast majority are for drinking. But that one was a gift, so thank you to Freddie for that. I would highly recommend that. The Springbank 12-year-old cask strength, bottled at 56.2% ABV. Let me just show you the label close up to the camera. If you can get your hands on that, or at very least get yourself a dram, I don't think you'll go far wrong. If you have comments after having tasted it, please leave them down below. And if you aren't a subscriber, please press that subscription button, and that way you'll be notified every time I post new tastings. Thank you for joining me, and Slàinte mhath.